So Val was born in 1951 and you were 6?
I was 5 and a half.
You're 5 and a half when she was born. Okay, and you're living on Kenwood Avenue.
Kenwood Avenue, and I was going, well, actually, I had gone to kindergarten. We lived on South 9th Street while he was still in college. Well, when we first started working, I guess, rented. And I think I went to Hester Kindergarten. And then Benjamin Corey for first grade. Learned how to read. And I remember my first word I learned was doll. The teacher wrote it on the board and she said, see, this big circle has a line over on this side, and see there's another circle and then 2 lines, that says doll. No phonics.
Genius.
It's a wonder anyone learned to read. We did have heavy-duty spelling lessons, and you really learned phonics in spelling when you were spelling things. Learn the rules. And I like to play on the jungle gym, and my mom sent me to school in pedal pushers sometimes because she didn't think it was right that I should play on the jungle gym and hang upside down and have my underwear show. So I was one of the few children that wore pants to school.
Were your teachers appalled?
I don't know. Didn't really.
Didn't you, like, go home and get graham crackers one time or something like that?
That was probably more like 2nd grade.
What happened there?
Well, I used when Valerie was like 2, Mom got a job working teaching sewing at Singer's downtown.
Oh, at Singer's.
Yes.
Legit.
And she had some lady, the Anderson lady, I think, that lived. She lived across the back fence, but her house faced out on the other street, and she took care of Valerie. And at lunchtime, I was just left on my own to come home, and I think she probably left me a sandwich or something. I don't really recall, but I recall that what I enjoyed doing was coming home, having the house to myself, turning on the TV and watching Captain Kangaroo and playing. They had a thing called Color Forms.
What's that?
It was like a manipulative toy that had it was kind of like geometric shapes, and you put them together to make, I kind of remember that. I think they were made out of felt. I don't know if that was part of the TV experience. Probably that was a real thing I had. Anyway, I can remember coming home, having graham crackers and milk, and thinking that was really cool, and watching TV, and then I got myself...
So you could just come home during the day during school for lunch? Like you didn't have to stay at school?
Normally most moms were home during the day.
Yeah.
And so if you lived around the school, lots of kids would just go home for lunch.
Gotcha.
And come back. And so I don't know that they even knew that my mom was not there. But I made the mistake of telling one of my friends somehow that it was so fun because I got to go home and watch TV and eat graham crackers. And somehow a teacher overheard that conversation and took me to the office, and they called my mother from work to come down. And I think somehow I remember my dad was there. It was like child endangerment or something. And I can kind of remember maybe feeling like I was in trouble, but I wasn't really. And then they took me to the store that night and bought me, there were these little 6-inch Ginny dolls. And they bought me a Ginny doll. And I thought that was really cool, because I only ever had about 4 of them. So after that, I don't know what happened after that. Maybe my mom quit her job.
No more graham crackers.
Maybe I went over to... about that time, they didn't have a cafeteria in that school. That school was a brand new school when we moved there. And they hadn't built the cafeteria yet. So maybe the next year they might have built the cafeteria, although I kind of remember going to the cafeteria, but I don't know if I ate cafeteria lunch, because that would have been really expensive. But I kind of don't remember my mom packing me a lunch either. Obviously, I ate lunch somehow. And my best friend, this is more like in second grade, was Michael Sullivan. And I like to play with Michael Sullivan because at his house he had Lincoln Logs.
Ooh.
And I could play with, no one would have bought a girl then, Lincoln Logs. Although I did have my own cap gun, cowboy hat.
Right.
And I had trucks because my dad didn't have any boys. And so he had to buy trucks. So I did have some, boy toys were way more fun than girl toys. But that's when Dad used to bring home a big, giant packing box, and we'd make a playhouse out of it in the backyard.
Fun.
And we would dig trenches, and we had like 40 orange crates, wooden orange crates, in the backyard that we could stack into walls and buildings and mazes, and so we played with those a lot. And then we dug little ditches and put water in them, and we floated caterpillars on leaves and bark, and we had like little islands, and we had little homes for our caterpillars.
That sounds so fun.
I know. It was really fun.